Hello, Professor Beth Harrington here. This is my introductory video. So I'm going to go through what I usually do in my on-campus classes, which is go through my education history and then my work history, a little bit of personal background, and then I'll do my two truths and a lie and let you guess in the comment section which those are. So my educational history is right after high school, I went and got my undergraduate degree at a small state school in Pennsylvania. A few years later, I went back to get my master's degree at another small state school, also in Pennsylvania, right below Lake Erie. And I got my master's degree in clinical psychology. My last semester there was actually spent doing a 15-week internship at a state hospital, and that was probably my most unique job experience. Very, very interesting, working 15 weeks with patients whose mental illnesses would not let them or allow them to live actually in public. So if you ever get a chance to work at a state hospital, definitely take that opportunity. After I graduated with my master's degree, I then worked at a short-term hospitalization program, and their patients stayed anywhere from a week to 2 weeks on average, and we got them back on medications, set up with therapy and resources on the outside, and then we're able to discharge them either to their to some family members or I guess back to their own homes, and they would take care of themselves. I worked there for about 6 months full-time, another year part-time, and after I worked there full-time, I switched to working at a county prison, and there I worked with both male and female inmates. I did individual therapy, group therapy, and also did case management on the unit. After that job, I was there for about 3 years. I then worked doing a wraparound program where I drove to people's houses and their children's school, and I would work with children, mainly autistic children, a few kids who just had behavioral issues, but about 90% of my caseload were autistic. So I would go into the schools and help teachers to learn how to decrease negative behaviors, how to set up reward systems or reinforcement systems, if you will. I'd also go to the homes and work with the parents on treatment plan goals, how to get their children to either talk or to put into place positive behaviors versus the negative behaviors that the children were showing, and decreasing the dysfunction in the family. I worked with about 13 clients full-time, and then I switched down to about 4 clients part-time when I switched over to working at a residential facility for adolescent males ages 12 to 17. They lived at this facility for on average a year, and we would do individual, group, and family therapy, trying to reintegrate them into their original biological families if we could. If not, foster care or group homes were an option if they weren't deemed safe, or the home environments weren't deemed safe. So I worked there for about 3 years, and while I worked there, I got an opportunity to be an adjunct at a small community college. And so I took that, and I built up my course load there, and I also was able to, about 3 years into it, start teaching at Penn State. So I was an adjunct at Penn State, and then we moved here, and I became an adjunct at the Larimer campus, and about 3 semesters later, I took the opportunity to become a full-time faculty member at the Boulder County campus, and that's where I'm at now with my work history. Let's see, some personal stuff. My family consists of myself, my husband, and 3 children, all under the age of 7. We like to go hiking, rafting, camping, doing anything outdoors that we can. We have a boxer named Copper, and he usually comes with us for all those adventures, even rafting. Can't say he loves rafting, but he definitely goes with us. Let's see, and when I can do stuff by myself, I love to read. I love historical fiction. I also go running. And I grew up riding horses and ponies, and that's probably about all the personal stuff that's interesting about me. So now my 2 truths and a lie are, let's see, I tried bull riding for a few years in college, but I gave that up after a near miss of a bull almost goring me. Let's see, my race of choice when I get a chance to go running is a 5K, because the longer distances tend to bore me. And I grew up on a small farm and spent most of my childhood outside, running around in the trees and in the creek and catching all sorts of critters and bringing them back to the house. I think those are good 2 truths and a lie. So figure it out, leave some comments, and let me know what you think. See you guys soon.